This is Raceline. Brought to you by General Tire. Sooner or later, you'll own Generals. Castrol, the oil engineered for today's cars. And by Revell, the world's model maker.
It's time to go racing again here at Cayuga Speedway. Hello, I'm Catherine DeCourt, and welcome to Raceline's presentation of the Molson Export 400. No shortage of action today as the stars of the ASA go side by side with the NASCAR stars Dale Earnhardt and Dick Trickle. And joining me with the action today here at Cayuga Speedway is our racing expert Eric Thomas, and in the pits, John Massingbird.
Well, with 24 cars qualified within a second of each other, the pit action is going to be wild and woolly. This afternoon, we're going to be looking for 15 to 18-second pit stops. Any much longer than that, and you're going to be in a lot of trouble. Any distance you've lost on the track, you'll be able to make up in the pit area. We'll watch for the action, at least 3 scheduled pit stops this afternoon in the Molson Export 400.
Thank you, John. Let's welcome back our tech expert and Canadian drag racing champ, Norm Noddle. Norm, 400 laps is a full afternoon's worth of work for these drivers. They're fighting themselves, their cars, the other competitors, but the track here at Cayuga also enters into the picture too, doesn't it?
It's kind of a unique facility for a 5/8 mile track in that the banking is different in each corner. The angle is actually different. Consequently, the driver doesn't get to build up the rhythm and the expectation, and they have to attack each corner very aggressively.
With 400 laps, it's kind of a funny situation somewhere in the middle. They have to pace themselves, but at the same time, there is no room to relax in a track this size.
Yeah, these guys don't like to pace themselves. They're short track racers. They like to go for it all the time, Eric. But they will have to do it, and the team that wins is not going to have burned the tires off early.
The man in the spotlight again here for the Molson Export 400 is the man who won the Molson Export 300 here at Cayuga back in June. Now, he put that with a win at Calgary at the Race City Speedway, so he comes back into Cayuga looking for the first ASA Canadian Triple Crown of Racing. For more, let's go to John Massingbird.
Dale Earnhardt's steed this afternoon in the Molson Export 400. It's going to be the 1990 GM Parts Lumina. Dale's car weighs in at 2,975 pounds. Inside Dale's office, of course, the full roll cage, a 3-speed transmission. Up under the hood, 355 cubic inches of 9-to-1 compression ratio Chevrolet. The action's going to be hot and heavy this afternoon. The best part about it, fiberglass body. It's going to be easy to replace after this Molson Export 400.
Up into this capacity crowd here on Raceline at Cayuga. Got some fan predictions on who's going to win the 400.
Junior Hanley. I'd like to see Junior Hanley when he's fan favorite around here. Nice man. He's got a heck of a nice car. I think he's going to win today. He's going to do great.
Dale Earnhardt.
I think Junior Hanley's going to win today.
Bob Seneca. He was good last time on the 300.
Junior Hanley's due.
Walter gonna race.
Well, no subtitles needed here. Here's the hot shoe. Bob Seneca won the 300 back in June. He goes for the Canadian Triple Crown in the 400. Ted Musgrave in 98 looking for his first win of 1990. Jeff Neal lasted just a few laps here in the 300 with a bad clutch. He wants to do a better show this time. Dick Trickles won the ASA crown twice. He's back at Cayuga. Mike Eddy's the 89 defending ASA points champion. Harold Fair right there with Bob Seneca at the end, just didn't have the horses to catch the 84. Here's Cayuga legend Junior Hanley, always hot at Cayuga in car number 72. This is the rookie Steve Burgess from Eau Claire, Wisconsin. He's quick. So is Scott Hansen, the 89 ASA Rookie of the Year in car 53. Third in rookie points was this man, Bruce Vanderlaan from Grand Rapids, Michigan. And the Intimidator, 3-time NASCAR champ, Dale Earnhardt in car number 3. In row 6, Richie Bickle, the hottest rookie in ASA for 1990. Here's a look at some of the rest of the field. Johnny Benson Jr., car number 21 in row 8, the teammate of Bob Seneca. Jay Summers out of Mount Clemens, Michigan, the hot rookie. Gary St. Amant, car number 7, he won the season opener at Columbus, Ohio. Tom Jones, Glenn Allen Jr., John Wilson. Tim Keslin is a rookie out of Franklin, Wisconsin. Bill Snowden is one of the Canadian shoes that can do well here. So can Dennis Robertson. Gord Bennett back by himself in row 17. Back with a start on Raceline in just a moment. We're back on Raceline at Cayuga Speedway for the Molson Export 400. Eric Thomas and Norm Noddle. One missing ingredient is about to be taken care of. We're all assembled on the front straightaway, but we need Dale Earnhardt and Alan Mash from Michigan International Speedway, where he won the IROC race and the championship this morning. It was rained out from yesterday. He ran on Saturday night at Raceway Park in Indianapolis, and they just airlift him down here just in time to be introduced on the podium down on the front straightaway. The Intimidator, 3-time NASCAR champion Dale Earnhardt. There's Dizzy Dean Murray making sure the paraphernalia is in place to get going here for the 400.
Get him back through there? Yeah.
I got the helmet.
He's got to go to the radio thing. You guys let him
Hey, listen, I need a pair of clear or blue or light blue goggles. Bubble goggles.
Okay. Excuse me.
All right, I can walk.
Yeah. Come on.
Lead the way.
Okay.
How you doing, man?
Clear the way.
Come on, guys. You got it, please.
Capacity crowd at Cayuga Speedway, south of Hamilton, Ontario. Ready to watch the Intimidator, Dale Earnhardt, run here in the Molson Export 400. He climbs into the office. The junior handling built, Sam Rounce, Randy Slack prepared, Chevrolet Lumina. John Massingberg is standing by with some pre-race thoughts from Dale. John?
Well, Dale, it's been a busy weekend. Indianapolis, Indiana last night, Michigan this morning for the IROC race, which you won. Your thoughts before the start of the Molson Export 400?
I'm ready. I've been warming up for this.
Just an easy weekend so far. The real work starts now.
Yeah, the rain's jammed things up a little bit, but still we made it and we're here to race.
That's a word from Dale Earnhardt. He's ready to go here at the Molson Export 400.
Okay, John, that's Special Command, Cal Bricker from Molson's.
Gentlemen, let's go racing.
33 race machines of the American Speed Association fire up. Arms in the air. Scott Hansen is underway. Attack is up. The lights are on. And the Cayuga Pace Corvette moves away slowly.
That 12-degree reference is actually an average of the banking, Eric. We mentioned each corner is unique at this track.
Bob Seneker sits on the pole for the 400 as he did in the Molson Export 300 here at Cayuga back in June.
Overcast, maybe a little optimistic, Eric, but we're going to keep our fingers crossed.
Pretty dark out here right now. View from over the campground. 33 cars set to take the green for the second installment of the ASA at Cayuga Speedway. There's a look at Dale Earnhardt. Harold Fair, second to Bob Seneker in the 300. That's Mike Eddy out of Midland, Michigan in car number 88. Getting those tires scrubbed in. Bob Seneker at Adore, Michigan. Is this the year he wins the points championship? In 17 years, he never has won one. Green flag from Chip Sheneman, and the Molson Export 400 at Cayuga Speedway is underway in front of a capacity grandstand. Everyone getting through nice and clean. No problems in the early going. We've had that problem creep up before. Everyone gets over anxious in the early going, but it's 400 laps, Norm. You gotta pace yourself. Don't win it in the first 10 minutes.
No, we mentioned let's not burn the tires off them, but the opportunities won't be missed. And I'm pretty sure that Ted Musgrave's going to want to get by Seneker right now to establish himself there.
Musgrave in car number 98. Wisconsin Aviation Chevrolet. He's out of Grand Marsh, Wisconsin. Field coming by the front wall. Nice and close.
In the 300, Eric, the V6s just totally dominated the V8s. A little more optimistic this time with Jeff Neal, the 99 of Dick Trickle, Dale Earnhardt, and Junior Hanley all running V8s this time.
84, Bob Seneker is your leader. In second place, the 98 of Wisconsin's Ted Musgrave. Everyone just biding their time. There's Dale Earnhardt. Car number 3 getting around turn number 4 down the front straightaway. A lot of time to go. 400 laps, as we said earlier, is a long, long afternoon. Making sure it's running right. Jeff Neal in the Xerox Victor Ford of Grays Lake, Illinois, is running in third place, and that's Mike Eddy in the 88 right behind him in fourth.
Neal, of course, the highest qualifying Ford and the highest qualifying V8.
Junior Hanley, the Cayuga legend, the Quaker State Motion Motors Chevrolet, running in fourth place, and they're strung out nicely. No one is really getting too anxious at this point. Still extremely early in the going. Unlike the Molson Export 300, everyone is staying calm at this point. We had an early wreck in in the 300, but so far so good here in the 400. Some cars getting loose, some contact. The Noah Yoda Ford out of Bryan, Ohio, Todd Forbes made contact, but he carries on, and everyone seems to be able to get... Now Vito Michelli's up into the concrete. In car number 80 in the Remax Realty Chevrolet out of Richmond Hill. Chip Shenneman's got the yellow flag up. They're going to slow this down.
Eric, track crew's going to have a look whether it's a humidity problem on this surface or actually whether some moisture has come off one of the cars.
Can't tell who Todd Forbes in the 07 tapped. He went by pretty quickly, but the damage not too severe. Somebody's got some fiberglass peeled away somewhere, but everyone was able to continue on, and then suddenly Vito Michelli, the veteran out of Richmond Hill, gets up into the wall, and he too is able to carry on, but his car's shorter by about that much on the right-hand side.
Vito doing a nice job of minimizing the damage on that corner.
Going green again, the restart, and it's Bob Seneker in the Lane Automotive Troop Racing Chevrolet, hanging on to the lead. But Junior Hanley in the 72 has passed the 5 of Jeff Neal for third place. Had concerns about marbling. John Massingford examined that problem earlier trackside.
As this race continues on this afternoon, one of the things that's a factor is these tires start to wear out, as you can see by this tire. All of the rubber that comes off of these tires rolls into little balls, which are called marbles. The marbles will go up towards the corners, they fling out from under the cars. But later on in the race, they'll start to roll back into the racing groove, making passing and racing very, very difficult and interesting. A lot of guys like to pass in the corners, but this is going to make it tough.
It'll be interesting to see, Norm, how 400 laps will narrow that groove with the marbling to become synonymous with racing at Cayuga Speedway.
Narrow groove? What narrow groove? Let's look at the Bob Senekers and Ted Musgraves get around this narrow groove with no problem at all.
Something the veterans have learned to live with here at the 5/8 mile Cayuga Speedway, and there's your leader, Bob Seneker, car number 84, going for the Triple Crown, and Junior Hanley, car number 72, right in behind Ted Musgrave, running third. Jeff Neal is fourth. Here comes the rest of the field. Richie Beckel going by in car 15, the hot rookie. And there's a look at Dale Earnhardt right in front of Bob Civila in car number 86. This is turn 2 as the field moves through. Some contact. Earnhardt's in the middle of some contact with Jay Sauter, and now Tim Steele in the 85 and Bob Civila make heavy contact outside of turn number 2. Steele peels it around Bob Civila. He's the worst of the two wounded cars. Steele continuing on, but Civila is dead in the water at the top of the backstretch.
We saw number 85, Tim Steele, in trouble earlier in the race, Eric. He's just obviously missed the setup with the car.
Dale Earnhardt in car number 3, the GM Parts Chevrolet Lumina. He's got problems. He made some contact. He's going to have some work done. Look at the front of this car. RNS Racing Crew's going to have to spring into action here. He's got a radio in the car. Let's see if we can get him on the radio.
Dale Earnhardt, Eric Thomas on the tower. You read?
Yeah.
Dale, it's been a rough kind of an afternoon so far, but is it kind of what you expected here at Cayuga?
I expect all these guys chopping around on it. We're just trying to get going here, get traffic a little rough.
Got a lot of fiberglass damage on the front there. Is that upsetting the way the car's handling it all?
Not right now. We just got some tire stackers off.
Go get him, Dale.
Notice the Junior Hanley crew lending a hand during the pit stop.
Oh, I wonder if Junior knows about this. His own crew helping out a competitor. Let's get him on the radio if we can.
Junior Hanley, Eric Thomas in the tower. Do you read?
Yeah, go ahead.
Junior, that car is running as well as we have seen your car run here in quite a long time. You agree with this?
The car's running really good, but I don't want to take no chances to crash getting by him. Like I did. I got a V8 car and he got a 6-cylinder car. He'll get a lot better tire wear than I am, and I'm a touch loose right now.
Alrighty, how about getting through traffic? No one seems to really be getting in the way. We got some people up into the wall, Skillman in the 17. Everyone getting by okay. Nobody seems to be getting in the road.
Yeah, the traffic's pretty good so far.
Thank you, Junior.
Junior Hanley with that win, as you saw there, at the Badgerland 150 in May, currently running in second place. Green flag from Chip Shenneman, and the field is rolling at race speed again.
Notice Junior reflecting on the one problem that the V8 cars have, and that's that extra 100 pounds causing just a little more tire wear to these cars.
Bob Seneker, the 84, is your leader. Junior Hanley in the 72 is second. Ted Musgrave right on the back end of Junior. In car number 98 is running in third place, and Mike Eddy is fourth. In car number 88, the defending ASA points champion, Jeff Neal, running a distant fifth at the moment. Chevrolets, 1 and 2. Harold Fair, second to Bob Seneca in the 300. He wants to gain some ground, but it's still early, Norm.
I wonder how well Harold Fair remembers looking in his mirror and watching Bob Seneca stalk him through the 300.
I wonder if we're going to have a repeat performance of that here this afternoon. Junior's got the horsepower. He seems to be able to gain on him on the turns. But the lighter car of Seneca seems to make a bit of a jackrabbit getaway at the top of the straightaway and then elongate it a little bit down the stretches.
What you're seeing there is the effect of that six-cylinder engine, the very torquey six-cylinder engine coming out of the corners right on the peak of the torque curve. That's what's making the difference right now. It's also why those cars don't wear the tires out.
Scott Hansen in the 53 out of Green Bay, Wisconsin. The Baker Enterprises Chevrolet is starting to move up. And you are riding with Dale Earnhardt in car number 3 with the Dynamax Monroe Revell Sony Handycam. Earnhardt trying to pick his way up through this field. He's finding it a bit of a struggle, I think, in the early going here, Norman.
Earnhardt managed to get a few laps in on Thursday, and that's really the only opportunity he's had to run this track for a while. So it's going to take him a while to find the groove, Eric.
We were down here watching him practice. He did about 3 or 4 laps, jumped out of the car and said, I can handle a car, it's loose, but I can't handle a car. It pushes. Mike Eddy is doing some big pushing of his own. He loses it totally. Harold Fair's into it as well. And the number 5 of Jeff Neal. We'll get back to Dale in a minute. We've got bigger things to worry about right here. 3 big heavy hitters in ASA are out of control. Here's the spin. Harold Fair gets down on the grass. Jeff Neal is there on the binders heavy. Mike Eddy is already resting there from the earlier part of the spin. On the replay, hang on, you're going for a wild ride with the 81 of Detroit's Harold Fair. Oh, a little love tap there from son-in-law Jeff Neal in the number 5. Oh, Dale Earnhardt. Somehow a casualty in this whole situation, Norm.
Eric, when the yellow came out for the spin, Dale Earnhardt hit the brakes. Tim Steele didn't hit them soon enough. Center punched him, drove him right into the center of the racetrack.
Well, after flying in from Michigan and all that and running around all weekend, Dale Earnhardt's afternoon at Cayuga is rather short-lived, a tough break.
The whole crew of Jeff Neal on the 5 Xerox Thunderbird over the wall. Everybody in the action, including Tom Jones, the Zero Hero, a fellow Ford driver, trying to get the front end of Neal's car straightened around. Neal concerned about front right-hand side sheet metal as well. All sorts of fiberglass screening, the hood as well. All of it is loose. The substructure's been bent badly, and you can see Tom Jones in there with the 200-mile-an-hour duct tape.
Woo, Sugar Ray Jones, some of the perils of these pit stops. While we get tidied up, let's go to Catherine DeCourt.
Looks can be deceiving. From the outside, this car looks fast and pretty, but from here on in, everything is built to protect the driver. Starting with the roll cage, the in-car fire system, the 5-point safety harness, and of course the driver's uniform, a specially designed fire suit and gloves. We have the goggles and a specially designed helmet. All of this spells safety, and all the driver has to think about is putting the pedal to the metal. Say, where's the steering wheel?
Maybe Dale Earnhardt has it. Out of the car, being besieged by the fans. He's on his way up the tower to talk to us. Here's a look at the leaderboard. Dave Jackson of Loveland, Ohio is the leader at the moment on the restart. To come up shortly, Harold Fair running second, and Jay Sauter. We're back with the restart in just a moment on Raceline. Eric Thomas, Norm Noddle, Catherine DeCourt, and John Massingberg back at Cayuga Speedway, Nelles Corner, south of Hamilton. Restart for the Molson Export 400. Dale Earnhardt from Kannapolis, North Carolina, the 3-time NASCAR Winston Cup star, is out of the race. A casualty on an earlier spin with Mike Eddy, Harold Fair, and Jeff Neal involved. Too bad that Dale's afternoon is cut so short, Norm.
It sure is, Eric. A lot of fans wanted to see him run the whole race and maybe win it. Isn't going to happen today. That's the price you pay on these short tracks. You get bumped around a little.
Well, Dale Earnhardt has joined us up here in the tower. Dale?
Oh, that's short race. That obviously didn't end up the way you wanted it to. No, the car was running great. We adjusted a little bit. We had an ignition problem to start with. I think if we wouldn't have had the ignition problem, we'd have been in good shape there. We would have had to been in the back of the pack. We got back in the back of the pack and dodged one wreck and bumped the front end up and had to hit again. And Then we decided to change tires. You know, we worked at the car there a little bit and got it good again, and going again. Then we was racing, and the guy cut down a little bit, and we cut his right front tire down. So we just had several things happen, and then they had the wreck on the turn 3, and when I backed off coming off for 2 over there, the 85 car he didn't back off. He just turned me right on around, and it hit the inside tire there pretty bad, and then tore the left rear up pretty bad.
These engines seem to let go. Did you get involved in that oil? That's what put you in the grass on the backstretch, Dale?
No, the car behind me wrecked me. It wasn't anything like that.
Do you have any recollection at all that maybe it was going to be this rugged? I mean, you had some fiberglass torn up pretty early. It was pretty rough go out there. Physical.
Well, I don't think it would have been if we'd hadn't had that ignition problem at first. I think we'd have been in good shape. Once you get back into other cars and you're a little faster than them, when you're trying to make up ground, it gets a little bumpy, and that's the biggest deal.
Well, let's hope that you can last a little longer next time up here. Come back and see us again soon.
Well, I hate it was such a short day. I hate we took, so long getting in here, but, the IROC race was going on, so, and we're happy to come up and see the fans. We're going to sign a few autographs here before we go.
Well, let's hope that Dale can last a little bit longer next time he comes up here. Dave Jackson in the 45 in the Red Bank Lycan Chevrolet in Loveland, Ohio, doing a nice job here in car number 45. He's leading at the moment. Harold Fair, the Hunter Heiskin Chevrolet, car number 81, running in second place. Junior Hanley out of Campbellville, Ontario, the Master Racer car builder, car 72, running in third place at the moment. Dave Jackson from Loveland, Ohio, car number 45, the leader. We try to remember the Ohio Connection Gang, a lovable bunch of ASAers from the greater Cincinnati area. Doing a nice job out here, Norm.
Moving up from a 16th starting position, Jackson's running a very smooth line, and he's going to be a factor in this race. But the thing he has to keep in mind is in his mirror right now, Harold Fair, a tough customer.
And for some of Harold Fair's crew, they hope it isn't here today and gone tomorrow.
We'll talk about dedication to Harold Fair's team. The team made up half Canadian, half American. According to crew chief Harold Fair Jr., his dad's doing very well out there right now. The fuel is good, the tires are great, they're going to pit the next time around with the leaders.
Dave Jackson of Loveland, Ohio, your leader in the 45. The Ohio Connection also includes the number 66 of Glenn Allen Jr., who so far is not really a factor as far as getting up with the lead pack. Junior Handling in the 72, a nice tight third place, still very much in the hunt. The Molson Export 400 this year, along with the 300, both at Cayuga and the race in Calgary. A brand new award for ASA this year, the Canadian Triple Crown. We had a chance to talk to ASA President Rex Robbins before this event began to get a little more on that special award.
Eric, those 3 races in Canada represent a little over $300,000 in prize money. And we felt like this year that we would let the points for those 3 races count towards crowning of a national Canadian champion.
Nice innovation from Rex Robbins that will be handed out at the special Black Tie ASA Awards banquet this January at the Adams Mark Hotel in Indianapolis, Indiana. It's turning into an international affair very, very quickly. 3 races in Canada, the rest of the circuit in the United States. Becoming very important to run well on both sides of the border. So far, Bob Seneker's got 2/3 of that Triple Crown. But if he's going to claim the other third of it, he's going to have to get a wiggle on here. Norm, he's well back in the pack. Still just very early in the event. There's a long way to go. Bob Seneker's going to be there at the end, you can be sure. Harold Fair into the back end to Dave Jackson. A little bit, and more carnage up here with Jeff Neal. Bob Sybil is into it as well in the 86. And that's Kent Stoffer in the 90. They get out of shape. Chip Sheneman's got the yellow flag waving again to slow it down. Important pit stops coming up to tighten up the field. Harold Fair, the second place car, ducks into pit row.
Gotta be good, gotta be good. Great quick.
Well, a whole crew over the wall for Harold Fair. It is left side tires this time and a 10-gallon tank of fuel. Fair currently in the second spot and wanting to maintain that. They're keeping a very close eye on where Bob Seneker goes in this period. Nice pit stop, and they're down and out.
It is tight along pit row, isn't it? Not a lot of room to swing anything in there. Oh, tough break for Jeff Neal. His wife, Tony, that's Harold Fair's daughter. A little upset at what's happened out here. She's glad her husband's okay. That car, done, obviously, for the afternoon.
Well, the original plan was to bring Bob Seneker in at lap 140 to 150. Crew chief Chip Cavuto called it right at the accident. Lap 134, Seneker's in the lead. and in the pit area. Standard right-hand side tire change, a full load of fuel, about 20 gallons. Seneca will be back out in the back.
Whoa, Bob Seneca stalled the motor, but he got it going again. Now makes the charge to the front. He's third at the moment. Harold Fair is the leader. We're going to have a replay of the Molson Export 300 or what? Junior Hanley sandwiched in between in second place. Chip Shinneman trades yellow for green. We get the restart coming up. Out of 4 down the front straightaway, picking up that speed. There's the 77 of Wayne Williams out of Oakville, Ontario, the Fletcher Racing Enterprises Chevrolet, his first event in ASA, doing a nice job clawing his way up from well back in the starting field, moving up to at least the top 12 at the moment. Junior Hanley in the 72, in behind the 81 of Harold Fair, getting by the 77 of Wayne Williams. Harold Fair's crew chief, bird's eye view, Jim Williams. Watching Harold Fair, right in front of the 72, and Junior Hanley tries the pass, gets his nose underneath, tries to make the pass on the back stretch, now slips alongside and easy as you please, outbreaks him in the corner.
I'm rather surprised just how strongly Junior went by Fair. It's as if Fair held back a little bit.
Harold may be trying to save something for a little bit later on. We still have a good chunk to go in the Molson Export 400 here at Cayuga on Raceline.
Under the very watchful eye of crew chief Gordon McKechnie, Junior Hanley sorted out a problem he had on the last pit stop. Junior complained that the car was a little bit loose. He fixed it with a tire stagger the last time around. Junior's back in the lead here at the Molson Export 400.
Junior is spending an entire season racing ASA and doing the car building part-time in 1990, just the opposite last year. He's got a handful of top 5 finishes so far, but I know Junior would like to crack the win column at least a couple more times before they bring the curtain down in 1990. He's got 1 win so far this year.
And all he needs is just a little bit of racer luck. He just had bad luck in the last few outings. You watch for Junior Hanley. This could be the one to turn it around.
Glenn Allen Jr., the 66, slipping by, and here we go. Is this a mirror image of the 300 or what? Harold Fair to Detroit, Michigan, the Hunter Heiskin Chevrolet. Right in behind, the 84, the Lane Automotive Troop Racing Chevrolet of Bob Seneca out of Gore, Michigan.
Poor Harold Fair must think he's got a picture of Seneca stuck to the rearview mirror of his car. Every time he looks, he's there.
Yeah, it's a deja vu from the 300 here at Cayuga back in June, all right. All trying to chase down the number 72 of Campbellville, Ontario's Junior Hanley. Harold Fair gets by Dennis Vogel. Oh, Ted Musgrave is out of this event. That's a tough break. It's been a frustrating year for that man, too.
The pit report on the Musgrave car, Eric, is that the bearings and the quick change rear end have seized up, possibly a sign of running in this warm weather, going to be a problem on the drivetrains.
Yeah, the heat is becoming a problem. It has been muggy and sticky all day. We may have dodged the rain bullet, but this humidity is something else out here. Junior Hanley in the 72, Harold Fair in the 81, Bob Seneca in the 84, and Scott Hansen in car number 53 in the Baker Enterprises Chevrolet out of Green Bay, Wisconsin is moving up. Getting by Bill Snowden in the 94. That's the Allen Test Product Chevrolet Camaro, the old Camaro-styled ASA car. He's just a local runner, only runs ASA when they show at Cayuga.
And he's looking for probably a shot at the highest placing Canadian, and although he's not running with the front runners, he's looking to finish the race.
That's what you have to do when you get out here. You know you're not going to run as fast as Seneca, Fair, Eddie, or such as that. Get out here and do the best you can. That's what it's all about. You got to have those guys in the field. It's pretty dull just to have a 5 or 6 car field. You have to have those middle runners. Look up the wall-mounted Sony Handycam. Cars go whizzing by. See the debris coming off the tires. Lots of rubber out there, Norm.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, that groove might get a little narrower due to the marbling effect. You saw the rubber coming off the tires.
I'm not getting too narrow. They seem to be able to run a couple of lanes here. Noah Yoder Ford of Todd Forbes out of Bryan, Ohio is in trouble for a second time here in the Molson Export 400. Up heavy contact with the wall collected. Gord Bennett as well in car number 67. Here's a look at it again.
You can see him get right out of the groove, Eric, and now he's up into the marbles. The car's starting to bounce. He's lost it.
Beyond the point of no return. Anybody want a rear spoiler? It's going to drop right in your lap. There you go. Todd Forbes doesn't know how to get around these corners very well, at least not now. Stagger's got a lot to do with it. Here's John Massingberg.
One of the things that affects how a race car handles on a speedway is what they refer to as tire stagger. As you can see, the graphic difference between the inside left tire and the taller outside right. If a driver complains to his crew chief that the car is pushing, the crew chief can put a larger right-hand side tire on to eliminate the push. If the car is too loose, he'll decrease the size of the outside right tire and he'll make the car track easier around the speedway. The difference in stagger is very important when it comes to qualifying. It can make the difference between qualifying first on the pole or at the last 32nd.
Perhaps stagger on the mind of Junior Hanley's pit crew as he moves into pit row.
He's going to take on right side tires, a little bit of fuel. Everyone just hitting their stride perfectly, Eric.
Very important on a hot day like today. They're getting that grill cleaned off for free. We want the air to flow through to that radiator to try and keep it as cool as they can. It's hot and sticky out here. Junior's off and away.
We're with Glenn Allen Jr., the driver of the Bastrone construction car. Glenn, you're out of the car. The Zero Hero, Tom Jones, is taking your spot. How come?
We lost the power steering belt about lap 5, so what happens, we run a bunch of caster in the car for the power steering, which makes the car so hard to turn. I drove as long as I could. We're going to let Tom go for a while. He gets tired, and we're going to rotate back.
So you'll go back into the car?
Yeah.
There you go, tag team driving for Glenn Allen Jr. and Tom Jones, the Zero Hero.
Without power steering, it's like trying to turn a full-grown oak tree around in the ground. Here's the leaderboard. Richie Bickle, the hot rookie. Here's your leader, Junior Hanley, Scott Hansen, and Harold Fair, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Catherine McCourt's got life in the fast lane.
72 hours in the life of Dale Earnhardt starts Thursday at the 400 press conference in Toronto. Dale recalls Cayuga and compares it to Indianapolis Raceway Park.
It's just a coincidence that we're racing there on Saturday night this weekend. That's why we're not going to be up here for Saturday. We're going to be in the IROC race on Saturday afternoon in Michigan. And Saturday night I'm going to run Indianapolis Raceway Park, and the tracks are just about identical, the way they lay, the banking and everything, and even the way you drive them.
3 races in one weekend? Could it be that Dale is really robo-racer? Maybe. Let's check out the next item on the agenda, the interview. Well, okay, he's done a million of them, and today's a great day for getting a tan. Besides, he's anxious to board his private plane and get to Cayuga to do some turns around the track, the only chance he'll have before Sunday's race. They race to the track only to hurry up and wait. And wait. Someone start the engine. Great, now he's off. The car feels good, but Dale is still worried about his ASA competition.
Green, you gonna run a V8? Yeah. Yep. Don't lie.
Randy Slack is getting an earful about his race schedule this weekend, and as it turned out, his Saturday night IROC race was rained out, and he had to run it first thing Sunday morning, but he won. So now he can land in Cayuga with a winner's attitude. Dale can finally race the last leg of his weekend, the Molson Export 400. Well, best laid plans of mice and men. At least he made it through the weekend. And that's 72 hours in Dale Earnhardt's life in the fast lane.
We'll be right back with more Raceline.
Back on Raceline, the Molson Export 400 ASA event at Cayuga Speedway. Nelles Corners, a stone's throw and a half from the city of Hamilton. Green flag underway again, and that's Richie Bickle Jr. out of Edgerton, Wisconsin, the Blue Max Hand Cleaner Buick. The hottest rookie in ASA right now, 1,116 points coming into the event. He ranks 4th in overall points, and he leads the charge to become the 1990 ASA Felpro Rookie of the Year. Scott Hansen had that honor, and there he is in car number 53. He had the honor in 89. Junior Hanley in the middle, trying to catch the hot rookie right now, Richie Bickle in the 15. Junior's got it down low. Can he get by? Side by side in turn number 4, even making a little contact with the door handle. They tap again down the front straightaway. Junior Hanley, Richie Bickle not giving any quarter. Bickle falls off the pace and Scott Hansen takes over. The 85 at Tim Steele's got trouble in the pits.
One of the more unique ways to get yourself parked on pit road, Tim Steele with a hole in the battery. It lost power to the ignition system and shut him down right away. So their crew in there now trying to replace the battery and get Tim Steele back into the battery.
What a do-si-do he had there, Norm Noddle, with Junior Hanley and Richie Bickle. He falls off and Scott Hansen moves up one position. But that's ASA racing at its finest.
I'm not sure that second love tap from Hanley wasn't just a little bit of a warning, Eric.
Scott Hansen sat on the outside of the front row with Bob Seneker for the 300. He has one win so far since then at the Wisconsin State Fair at the Milwaukee Mile in West Allis, Wisconsin. So the crew's got him moving again. And bulldozing again, right on the back end of Junior Hanley, a little tap on the 72.
We're with Scott Hansen's crew chief, Howie Leto. Howie, Scott got a fender under Junior but couldn't get around him. What's he telling you about the car?
He's talking right now. We just discussed it, and it's a little bit tight. It isn't quite 2 grooves out there, and he said it's just a matter of time because Junior's holding him up, and he's just waiting for the right time there. It's a little early in the race yet to take any chances, you know. But
you feel good about it right now? You can go?
Right now, our car feels real good. Yeah, it's probably about the best it's felt all day. So.
That's the word from Howie Leto, Scott Hansen's crew chief.
Grooming 4 ASA Rookies of the Year. He is sort of the ASA version of Junior Johnson, if you will. Howie Leto, a very, very talented man. Knows how to get the best out of a young driver. That's not easy to do.
And again, that reference to the groove at Cayuga, even the crew chief's wary of it.
Scott Hansen, the 53, right coming by on the wall here. Sony Handycam. Richie Bickle Jr. in the 15, trying to wobble his way to find a hole, any hole, to try and get some ground gained on the 53 of Scott Hansen. Junior Hanley in the 72 is your leader. Scott Hansen, the 53, running in second. Richie Bickle in the 15 is running in third place. And here they come down the back stretch, which is not straight. It's almost like a big turn back there, you notice. Junior Hanley and Scott Hansen. Hansen's crew pushing them all the way around themselves. Contact again. Hunts Jr. out of the way. And Scott Hansen in the Baker Enterprises Chevrolet out of Green Bay, Wisconsin, home of the Packers in a heavy hit in his own right, takes over the lead the physical way. That's how you do it at Cayuga. When you can't get by, you push him out of the way.
On the replay, Eric, you can see Junior trying to close the door on Hansen, but Hansen's already got his foot in that door.
Well, as we alluded to earlier, marbling is now becoming a factor in the late part of this Molson Export 400. As you can see on the track behind me, all sorts of rubber and debris sitting up in the corner. It's turned this end of the racetrack into about a 1.5 groove racetrack, making it very difficult to pass. The guys are going to have to do it on the back stretch or on the front stretch.
So Scott Hansen in the 53, the first rookie ever to win an ASA event. He won 2 last year. Now conducts proceedings from the head of the field, past the 3/4 mark of the Molson Export 400, coming by the wall.
Noticing Hanley getting a bit loose now at the right rear of the car. Could be they may have gone for the wrong stagger on that last pit stop.
Junior's going to try anything to try and get it. Dennis Vogel is in trouble. In the Petrosky Nelson Auto Buick out of Manitowoc, Wisconsin, Dennis Vogel spins it up near the wall. That's going to bring up the caution again.
The veteran flagman, Chip Shoneman, 20 years at Cayuga Speedway controlling the race. Okay, everybody's starting to jockey for position to roll into the pits. The crews are ready. There's going to be lots of action. Keep your eye on pit road.
Pace car comes around. Watch for those cars ducking into the pits really quickly. As soon as they get, there goes Junior Hanley right now. Signboards are in the air. Everybody take their place, do it quickly. As we said, this is a very narrow kind of a pit lane, and the pit location's not too long. Bob Seneker skids to a stop, getting by Dick Trickle in the 99. This is a big, important pit stop for Bob Seneker.
This is the important pit stop of the event right now. The winner's probably going to be determined in this pit stop.
This is just the pit stop that Dick Trickle needed, according to crew chief Russ Ebert. It's 2 tires on the right-hand side, 10 gallons of fuel. They'll drop them and let them go. Trickle's now going to be ready to charge for the last 100 laps.
Trickle is off and underway. Rolling already is Harold Fair. He's on the radio with us.
Harold Fair, Eric Thomas of the Tower. Do you read, bud?
Yes, sir. I got you guys up at the tower. What's happening up there?
Well, we're just about to ask you the same thing, Mr. Fair. How are things happening out there? How are you holding up? Kind of a hot, sticky afternoon.
Well, the car is working pretty good, but the track has come apart. It's really slippery. It's not really coming apart, just in certain parts, you know, and it's kind of slippery. And it's very hard to pass out here to get in the outside groove. So you can't tell whether your car is pushing or loose because
it feels like it's pushing a little bit, but then it gets loose coming off. So it's really a tough situation.
Harold Fair's not sure what he's doing, but you know he's going to be there at the end regardless. Veterans often do it that way. Here's a look at the leaderboard. Scott Hansen, your leader, then Harold Fair. Steve Burgess, the rookie, has moved up along with another freshman driver, Johnny Benson Jr. in car number 21, Bob Seneker's teammate. Restart, up to speed. Scott Hansen brings the field around. Chip Shenneman's got the green flag and the restart. Hansen now starting to pull away.
You can bet that the radios are crackling right now, Eric, as the drivers tell their crew chief whether they made the right or wrong call on tire stagger.
Steve Burgess, car number 12, the Gillen Enterprises Countertops Incorporated Chevrolet, who made contact with the wall in the 300, is making a charge to the front. Hansen in turn 1. Some contact with Harold Fair and John Benson Jr. Harold Fair kicks up high. A couple of drivers squirt underneath. Harold Fair just got punted out of the way like Junior Hanley did just a few laps ago, but Hansen is just starting to run away with things out here, pulling away from the rest of the pack. Down the front straightaway they go.
Harold Fair seemed to lose power when he was overtaken there, Eric. We're going to keep an eye on the crew chief.
It's been kind of a rough Molson Export 400. The attrition list is kind of long. Lost our NASCAR star Dale Earnhardt, along with Jeff Neal, Todd Forbes, Bob Civilla, Jay Sauter, and Mike Eddy.
Late report on Mike Eddy. It appears that accident was caused by a ballast weight going right through the front end of his car, taking out the rad and the engine. You can bet Mike Eddy's going through the pits looking for the owner of that one.
Oh, you got to be kidding. What a thing to happen. There's Mike Eddy's wounded number 88 and rolling by at the 81 of Harold Fair, back in behind the wall in the pits. ASA cars right by the wall down the front straightaway. Here they come. Ooh, contact with the wall. Who was that? Was that Junior Hanley?
Junior Hanley. We mentioned earlier he seemed to be running loose since that last pit stop. They've obviously had a problem with the stagger.
It'll be the first time Junior's gone along to do some chopping and channeling with the concrete. That's always a shock to the system when that happens. Hot on the heels of Scott Hansen in the 53 is the 84 of 17-year American Speed Association veteran Bob Seneker. He is shooting for his 64th career win here at the Molson Export 400.
And this is starting to look like the conclusion of the Molson Export 300, one player different.
It's that casting change, take away Harold Fair, install the 53 of Scott Hansen. Hansen trying to hold off the veteran Seneker. He's not doing a very good job of it. Bob Seneker makes the move for the pass for the lead on the outside. Quick to the pits and John Massenberg.
All right, the crew working feverishly trying to get Harold Fair back into the race right now. As you can see, everybody in under the hood trying to get something at the front of the motor sorted out. They'd also been complaining of the transmission coming out of gear.
Give me a rag, give me a rag!
Bob Seneker takes over the lead. Is this familiar? Again, from the 300. Chip Caputo, the crew chief.
Well, Chip Caputo, it's the big-time gamble right now. This is the third leg of the Canadian Triple Crown. You guys are 2 for 3 right now going into this last and final leg. You're gambling a lot. What's your situation?
Well, right now the car is running faster than Hansen's with new tires, so we decided to stay out.
Have you got fuel to go the distance?
Yes.
So the tires are the gamble?
The tires are worth the gamble.
Well, Chip, you're either going to be a hero or a chump when this one's over.
That's rough.
Good luck.
Thanks.
So it appears the Molson Export 400 comes down to a change of sneakers. Hansen changed his shoes. Bob Seneker did not. He just came in for a drink of fuel.
We mentioned earlier that that last pit stop may determine this race. I didn't believe at the time it would be what somebody didn't do at the pit stop that might matter.
Well, after 17 years of racing with the American Speed Association, if there's one guy who may know what he's doing at the gambling table, it's Bob Seneker in the 84. Down the front straightaway again. Last handful of laps here in the Molson Export 400. Looking like a Bob Seneker show. The new principal driver from the Leroy Troop stable, as Butch Miller has gone on to NASCAR Winston Cup. After fixing the car, towing the car, Bob Seneker just gets out now and drives the car. He deserves it after 17 years in the trenches of ASA.
No evidence of push or problems with the groove. I do believe they made the right decision to stick with those tires.
They did not change tires on their last pit stop. Scott Hansen did. And The car is running perfectly right now. Still somewhat of a gamble. His tires can go away here at any moment with the way the car is running. White flag is out. One more lap. And he's into it already. And Bob Seneker is on his way to his second ASA win here at Cayuga. The Molson Export 400. Couple that with a win in Calgary. And he nails the first ASA Canadian Triple Crown. Chip Caputo and company in the pits. There's the checkered flag. What a fabulous year at Cayuga Speedway for the veteran Bob Seneca. Slowing it down, cooling it off. John Massenward in the pits.
Well, Chipper, the gamble paid off this time around. You guys are 3 for 3 on the Canadian Triple Crown. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Were your thoughts that you may run out of tires or gas in that last few laps?
When the last caution came out, I got real nervous. I knew we messed up.
I'll bet you did. I won't hold you up. Get to your driver.
Okay,
Best of luck.
Thanks.
Way to go, buddy. Good on, Chip. Welcome back. The Molson Export 400 at Cayuga Speedway is history. And here's the way they wound up. Bob Seneker, 2 for 2 here, with a win in Calgary, makes it a win in the Canadian ASA Triple Crown. Second, Scott Hansen. Third, John Benson Jr. Dick Trickle, the 2-time ASA champion, one of the NASCAR stars, with Dale Earnhardt retiring. Finishing inside the top 10, Steve Burgess. There's Junior Hanley, 7th. Not bad at all. Dave Jackson, Gary St. Amant, and in 10th place, Bruce Vanderlaan. Bob Seneker rolls the Lane Automotive Troop Racing Chevrolet to the start-finish line for the victory ceremonies.
Welcome back to Raceline. As we did in the Molson Export 300, the winner of the 400 to make it a Canadian Triple Crown out of Dorr, Michigan, Bob Seneker. Bob, a long, cool drink here, some Gatorade, and another masterful drive here at Cayuga.
Well, we only got bumped around a little bit early in the race. Other than that, it was pretty clean for us. And the track held up a whole lot better than it has in the past years. It's raceable now. We can run 2 grooves. But I was sure worried with about 30 laps to go there when we didn't pit, and Hansen did. So, I think it might be over now, but he couldn't catch me.
Let me ask you about that. That was a big gamble at the end. We thought you might have pitted for tires, but you elected not to, and you obviously had the rubber to finish. But that's part of this sport, isn't it? To gamble big time like that, isn't it?
It's a gamble, and Chip, the crew chief, said, you can outrun him. We're running just... When he had the fresh tires on, he wasn't catching us, so he said go for it.
300 here, the 400 here, and the race in Calgary. You make it a Canadian Triple Crown. You're going to be very proud of that.
We're really happy. The whole crew is.
Bob Seneker from Dorr, Michigan, the winner of the Molson Export 400.
Time now for the Revell Model Performance Driver of the Race, the Good Samaritan Award. Tom Jones out of Highland Park, Illinois, had a very sick motor, took the green flag to get the starting money, then spent the rest of the afternoon helping out the other Ford driver, Jeff Neal, in car number 5, and also took over for Glenn Allen Jr. in car number 66. Tom Jones was busy, the Revell Model Performance of the Race. Best appearing crew, Dennis Robertson and company out of Moseley, Ontario, and 2 of the hardest working guys at Cayuga, Eric and Tony, in the Molson Export Display Caravan.
It was a grueling 400 laps here at the Molson Export today at Cayuga Speedway, but Bob Seneker, wow, what a day he had. Pole sitter, winner, and the Triple Crown winner. Not only did he win the Players 500 in Calgary, but both the Molson Export 300 and 400 here at Cayuga Speedway. What an exciting day it's been. And for Eric, Norm, and John, and myself, Catherine DeCourt, so long from Cayuga Speedway.
Well, Bob, I'd just like to say on behalf of Molson Breweries, congratulations. It's great to see a winner with tradition like you bring to this sport, and we're all going to be pulling for you on the rest of the points through the year, but a great race today. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Dale Earnhardt's Racing Radios, supplied by New Venture Communications, London, Ontario. All in-car and wall cameras supplied by Sony Canada, the makers of the Sony Handycam. Dale Earnhardt's and Raceline's aerial footage transportation supplied by SwiftSure, the Canadian courier. And snorkel lift camera platform supplied by Select Equipment, Stony Creek, Ontario.
Raceline has been brought to you by General Tire. Sooner or later, you'll own Generals. Castrol, the oil engineered for today's cars. And by Revell, the world's model maker.